Okay, folks, we have more Chrono Trigger. So this is a soda drinking contest. It's kind of random, but I think if you get to 8, you actually get some prizes, which I think are the silver points. Now keep in mind this Millennial Fair does not actually go anywhere. So it's going to be here throughout the entire game. And, you know, so I'm not really sure if it's just only for today or if it's like for the month or the week or something, but you're going to be seeing more of these cave people. So I don't think it should spoil anything to say that this is essentially, chronological is kind of about time. This game is about time, and there's going to be a lot of stuff that there's just various scenarios that are going to happen, and we're going to definitely dive headfirst in that. Do not eat that old man's lunch. It'll heal you, but don't do it. If you talk to that cat twice, it'll run away. You have to only talk to it once. But in order to progress, we're going to have to fight Gato, which is the big robot of Lucca's. So that's what it looks like. The thing about this is there's numerous things to do in this fair. You can actually play games if you want to, but I don't know. I mean, you have to explore a bit more to actually do it. You will have to do some of these games at some point, though, just to let you know. But it'll be interesting to see if I can actually do it. We'll find out. But there's one thing that I missed that you're going to see later. Someone wants to buy Marle's pendant, and if you should say no, that you don't want to sell it. But so yes, my experience with this game was very all over the place. I got this game in July of 2001. Final Fantasy Chronicles came out, and I said, well, the first thing was they had cinematics in the game. So the thing about it was that, the creator of Dragon Ball Z made the artwork for this game, if you can't tell. You can tell by Chrono's hair and that sort of thing. He's kind of similar to Goku. Marle's kind of similar to Bulma. So is Lucca, though, in some ways. Magus is kind of similar to some of the darker characters. But you'll see, So the point being is that the studio that worked on Dragon Ball Z did the animation sequences for Chrono Trigger. So there's actually some FMV, I thought I said FMV sequences that look like you're watching an anime show or something. And that was included in Final Fantasy Chronicles, and main reason why I got that game. So I played that in 2001. The thing was I didn't get anywhere. I actually wound up, I had a Game Pro magazine that came with a Game Shark, something like that, Game Shark disc, and I wound up playing the game that way. But we'll talk more about this as we go along. But I most definitely did play the game. I did have quite a few guides to help me. I was really obsessed with this game in 2001. Couldn't get enough of it. I guess that's due, in fact, to the reason that I like Dragon Ball Z so much back in the year 2000, 2001. So these were things that kind of worked with it. But role-playing games, if we were talking August of 1999, May of 2000, I'd never played a role-playing game before. So, I was 10 at that point, and I would see them in magazines that I would read, but I just never got to that point I had never gotten to that point in actually trying some of these out. I noticed that Final Fantasy, people like that game, and I was just like, why is this? So that was something, but Chrono Trigger always stuck around. This is definitely... Now, when you get to this part, don't move. If you try to leave, Marle will... You know, once again, you're being graded, and just let her buy her candy. But yeah, like I was trying to say, there was just more stuff that went along. Yeah, there's a lot of... This is one of the flagship Super Nintendo games. I think when the Super Nintendo is 40 years old, this is going to be one of those games that's remembered forever from it. It's the same thing with Final Fantasy III. Squaresoft really made statements, and they made loud ones. So as this game unfolds, you're going to notice. Trust me, the characters are worth caring about. The situations are real, and the storyline is pretty, you know, it's better than some movies. This is definitely all good taste of what you're going to get. I would like to see a manga adaptation of this. That would be really slick to do. But I wish that... The only thing I hate about this game is just the fact that there was never a true sequel to it. You know, we never got to find out what happened in this world. They never collaborated again. The creator of Final Fantasy and Dragon Warrior and Toriyama never made a collaborative project again. So this is really kind of like a super sweet thing. It's just like Super Mario RPG. Everyone wanted a sequel to that game, but because Squaresoft went with Sony, you know, we just never got that. So this is definitely another said game that had that. In fact, Chrono Cross is in the future, and there's really no characters from that game that are in this. But I have yet to play it or try it, so I can't really wonder if it's bad. Maybe someday I'll do that game, but you know, these are just extra bits that are going to happen. So this is where things start to go awry. And Marle happens to be a little bit more special than you realize, and something's going to happen to her. So you have choices. This is another point where you're going to have some choices, and depending upon the attitude you take, you might get a game over. So that's something to understand. Obviously, if you get a game over, you're not able to save, so you're going to have to do this all over again. So what you want to do is take the right path. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Time travel. Marle gets sucked to a different timeline, and we're left with the booming question, what the hell do we do about it? So, this is definitely something to pay attention to, and I'm just unsure. But alright, subscribe for more fun.